Okay.
Good? Everybody's good?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. We're going to start with yesterday. Well, this event kind of unfolded about 4:06 p.m. in the afternoon. Officers of Terre Haute Police Department were dispatched to 1200 block of Putnam Avenue regarding the report of 2 shooting victims at 2124 Putnam. Officers were advised by Vigo County Central Dispatch that the male victim indicated the suspect was Mikey Reynolds, and he fled in a gold-colored car from the scene with a paper plate. Upon arrival, officers spoke to the male victim. He had multiple gunshot wounds and indicated that he and a female had been shot inside the residence. Once officers discovered the female, later identified as Amanda Kearns, inside a bedroom with multiple gunshot wounds. Both of the victims were transported to Regional Hospital, where Kearns was later pronounced deceased. The male was taken into surgery, and he's expected to recover from his wounds. Based on the vehicle description and the address given, officers located a gold Saturn behind 2214 First Avenue. They relayed that information to other officers who arrived to assist, and as the officers were approaching the residence, they observed the suspect at the car. Officers indicated that he raised a rifle from his side and fired multiple rounds at him. A perimeter was established around the residence, and he continued to fire multiple volleys at officers over the next 2 hours. During one of the initial exchanges, a department sniper fired a single shot that struck him through a passing exterior wall. He was kind of using the wall as cover, and he shot through the wall to hit him. At that point, he continued to fire some, and then the firing stopped. Our special response team was then called to the scene to take over operations. It was kind of a hectic scene last night with multiple rounds being fired, and our officers were there, most of them until 9 o'clock this morning. We had a scene where we knew it was going to take a while to get that. We used some tools that we had to try to locate him inside the house, and it just looked like it was going to be a lengthy incident. So we contacted the state police to have their SWAT team relieve ours, because after a certain amount of time your senses degrade, you're not as sharp as you were, and we didn't want to be unfit to react to that kind of situation. I guess refer to Sergeant Watts with the ISP response to help our SRT guys at the residence on First Avenue.
The request for Indiana State Police assistance came out shortly before midnight this morning. Our ISP Central Response Team started arriving on scene about 1:30 and helped establish a perimeter with the THPD units at 0600 this morning. Our South team of the Indiana State Police SWAT arrived to relieve our Central team and maintain a perimeter. We deployed gas inside the home on First Avenue, thinking that maybe we could, if he's still in there, that maybe we could get the suspect to come out. While we were doing that perimeter and deploying gas and investigating and deciding what our next move was, an informant approached us at the scene, had information that the suspect may have been able to get out of the First Avenue home during the overnight hours, during the night and the rain, and moved to a house at 2123 4th Avenue. Our SWAT guys were able to go to 2123 4th Avenue, establish a perimeter, and this was shortly after noon, about 12:10 in the afternoon. We were able to use a telephone and call 4 people out of that home at 2123 4th Avenue, but the suspect, we believe, maintained his presence inside the home. He then just showed himself at a window and a door, and then immediately came out the rear door, presented a threat, and engaged our SWAT officers. Our SWAT officers were able to eliminate the threat from him. They returned fire and were able to eliminate that threat. He was pronounced deceased at the scene. It should be noted that he was wearing all dark clothing. He was wearing body armor, and the suspect was armed during the encounter with our SWAT officers. Again, we're going to continue our investigation. We're going to investigate the shooting where the THPD SWAT officer initially struck the suspect. We're investigating that, and we're also going to investigate the ISP SWAT shooting that occurred at the rear of the residence about 12:10 this afternoon. Once we compile all of our investigations, our videos, our computer diagrams, all of our written notes and case reports, we'll submit all that to the Vigo County Prosecutor's Office, and they'll determine whatever they need to determine throughout this entire event. We would like to thank the public. Tips were coming in. People were approaching us at the scene offering information and assistance, and again, we would like to have had a much better conclusion, but it was not possible today.
With that said, the prosecutor's office will review the homicide investigation once that's completed, and also will review the 2 separate police shooting incidences once those investigations are completed. I would like to say that, I would applaud the efforts of the Terre Haute City police officers, and the police department, and also the Indiana State Police. This was a very dangerous incident that occurred, and there was a lot of lives in danger as a result of this incident. And they all pulled together and showed their ability to work together and their bravery in terminating this threat. I just want to applaud them again and say thank you to all of them for keeping all of us safe.
And I'd like to mention that, in addition to Indiana State Police, when the shots fired call came out, we had officers from Indiana State University Police, West Terre Haute Police, Vigo County Sheriff's Office, Indiana State Police, as well. Before the SWAT guys got there, we had U.S. Marshals, deputies there. When that call comes out, everybody's going to go to that, and we had tremendous support from other agencies dealing with this active shooter situation.
As far as the Indiana State Police is going, our investigation, we told you we're investigating 2 of these shootings, so we'll have 1 team investigate the shooting by the Terre Haute Police Department, and we'll have 1 team investigating the shooting by ISP SWAT. We have several crime scene investigators on scene, as well as THPD and working with their investigators. So I think that this just goes to show, like we'd like to have a better conclusion on what happened, but it just goes to show that we all can work together. So our detectives are working with the Terre Haute Police detectives, and CSIs are working together, and hostage negotiators are working together, and so it's a team effort, and we would like to have a much better conclusion, but it does show to say what the Prosecutor Miles has said, that we all work together, and thank God that our officers were safe as well.
I would echo that. Thank God that there weren't any police officers hurt.
Civilians
During the amount of rounds being fired, it could be a lot worse than it is, other than the 2 victims that he initially had on Putnam Street.
I know at one time it was reported that they thought maybe close to 200 rounds were discharged by the shooter.
And we're processing those scenes now, so it's going to be a while. There's just a lot of evidence to process right now. That's going to go many more hours tonight, so we're done with that.
We had a media staging point approximately a half a block from the actual shooting scene this afternoon, and it just goes to show you that while we were conducting our interviews and speaking with the media, that the shots rang out on 4th Avenue, and literally we're half a block from the scene. So it just goes to show you we want to get you the information we can get you to the scene as much as possible, but we also want you, the media, we want other folks, civilians and such, to be safe as well. And today was a perfect example on why we asked the media and why we asked folks to vacate their home or vacate the scene, because these literally rang out within seconds, and there were multiple shots. So.
Can you speak to the unique challenges that this presented?
Well, I mean, initially, you got the homicide scene on Putnam, you got the scene on 1st Avenue where he's firing multiple rounds. When you set up a perimeter on a house, it seems like it could be a simple task, but when you got somebody shooting high-powered rifle, you can't have as close a perimeter as you normally would. And the bigger your perimeter, the bigger your gaps are going to be, which would explain why he somehow got out of that gap, and we're going to work to make sure that doesn't happen again. Obviously, he got out, and we don't like that, but we're fortunate that no one else was hurt because of that.
Was that a critical time when he got out and you